Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel SFDC Panther, and in this video we are going to learn how we can format our string type into our java.lang.date format. So as usual for this tutorial we are using Anypoint Studio 7.4, and this is our project that we left in our previous tutorial. So what we are going to do is we are going to say as an input, if we are getting some string in a form of date and we wanted to change that string into a date format, because there is a requirement. We are migrating some data from some CSV files or from some database system into the Salesforce, and where we have information stored in the form of string, and we wanted to migrate that data into the date format. How we can do that? So that is what we will see here, and we will also see how we can format our string or our number in the form of currency, and how we can create some variables in our date with the help of data view. So let's quickly start. For this tutorial we need a JSON file where we actually put our input file, where we can have numbers, we can have date field. So I already created this JSON file, and I will be posting this JSON file in the description of the video as well, so that you can get. So we have this JSON file. Where we created our JSON file is first we created a file under src test resources. And why we create these files under src test resource? So that whenever we are migrating our project into the live environment, these kind of steps that we are doing for our convenience will be ignored can be ignored, and we get only those dependencies that are useful for the projects. So that's why we have this JSON file. And then after we need to create a metadata. So how we can create and manage metadata? Right click on your project, go to Mule, and then here you will say manage metadata types. Click here and you will see you can click on this plus sign to define a metadata. So let's say that say that job opening, and then click on create type. Once you will create, you will see one after creating that your metadata, you need to click OK here. And then now let's go to our flow. This is our flow. We have created our metadata type, and now this is our flow. And even if you wanted to see where our metadata is, again right click, go to Mule, manage metadata type, and you will see here. For now we have created our metadata as a string, and now we wanted to make this as a JSON, because we must be knowing that what kind of input we are getting from the third party. So that's why here I've selected JSON, and then from the example, because we have defined the example into our test resources file, and then we will be selecting that. So this is our project, and inside the project we have test resource, sorry, src test, and then resource we have this JSON file. And once you will select, you will see what all tree or what all nodes your JSON file have here. Click on OK, and you will see a pop-up here. Do you want to apply changes? Click yes. So now we have that JSON file as well, metadata. And you must be thinking that if we are putting this JSON file inside our test resources, how our project is going to identify that we have defined this kind of metadata. So all these metadata actually are stored in our XML file. So if you click here in configuration XML, and okay, we have not defined any metadata as of now in our project. Sorry, we are not using that as an example. So first let's quickly drag and drop our favorite transform message. Now we have this our transform message, and you can see that inside the left side payload we have not defined any metadata, and even for the output we have not defined any metadata. So how we wanted to know that this listener is listening and getting some data from the URL or the user is hitting, but what data actually this listener is getting, how we will get to know? For this we actually need to define. So Let's quickly go to our listener and then go to a metadata section on the listener properties. And once you will go to metadata, here you will see that there is a button called add metadata. Select that, and here you need to select just edit this, and then select our job openings that we just created. Now we told this listener that this is the input that you are going to get from whenever the URL that we have defined here in our general section is going to hit. And then in the transform section, if you see now, we are getting the input whatever we have defined here, because the input of input of the first node is going to the output of the second, and then same is going to apply to the entire flow in any Mule project. So that's why we got here. Now we have this. If you see, this close date is of type string. Now you wanted to see what with data we have. Just select this payload, right click, and you will see edit sample data. Click here and you will see what data you have. Even if you wanted to modify, you can modify, and then this modification is only for the practice purpose, or you can say that only for the testing purpose of your application. Now we wanted to get this date in the form of let's first see how this date is going to come here and what will be the output of that date. So first, before we go ahead, let's quickly talk about a map function that we are going to learn. So map function is the key that is going to map our input to the output. So let's say this is our input and this is our output. Now we wanted to see what output is going to come here. So with the help of transform message, we actually map input from our output. We can also say source to destination. So here we are going to map function. So to map the function, what we are going to do is, so let's quickly go to context section. Here you can see that it's a payload. So first we need to say that we're trying to map payload, and how we are going to map is, so here this is a very basic syntax of a map that we have mapped a payload. Now here you have two options. Either you wanted to define record and index here. So this record is going to say that the array of your record, one by one you will get all information here, and the index will be the number of you can say the position of that record. So if you wanted to get let's say that you wanted to get some role here, so you can say is record dot role. And to see the preview, just click on this preview button, and you will see a preview how this is generated here. You can see role is this. What is the type? It is string, and then again it is Salesforce developer, and type is string. So this is how you can use map function. This is the first way you can use map function. And then if you wanted to get let's say that you wanted to get a salary, so you can say the record and what attribute you wanted to access, that is a salary, and even it will automatically tell you what data type for that attribute is here. If you see, for salary it is a number, and if you wanted to change the output format, let's say you wanted to see on a data view, you can select application by DW, and you can see what output is like. If you wanted to change as you can, let's say that JSON, you can able to say here see here in the form of JSON. So whatever the data type that you can put here, like you also have XML, but for the XML we are getting some issues. So why we are getting some issues, we will be also looking into this in the later videos. So for now, let's say that Java, so that we can get the data type of the application as well. Now here, if we say here, let's say that close date, and we are trying to see here what actually we are looking for here is, that is close date. So here if you see close date here, and it will automatically update your preview, and you can see that the type is string, but we want this as a date so that we can map this data in our other system like Salesforce. So how we will do it? So for this, let me make a room for you so that you can see how we can do is, we can use here as, so, and how, what format we want date, so I'm going to select as date here. So you can see now the close date is in the form of date. You can see java.time.local.date. Now if you wanted to format in some so how we can format that, so let's say that format here and then double quotes. Still we did not provided a formatting here. Now to format our string into the date form, what we need to do is first thing we need to identify what is the input of the what type of the date we are getting in the form of string. So we have yy, so we are going to say that y, and then we have we can say that this is so we are going to type here and then dd. Now this is this formatting we have applied here for our incoming date. And if you are thinking like let's say that you want to apply formatting like this, you don't want hyphens, you want slash. So if you will try to apply this formatting, you will get some error here. You can see that we have some issues, and if you will select, you will get the complete issue here. Why we are getting this issue? Because we can only format in the form whatever we are getting in our input. And if you wanted to make sure that if you wanted to change it, you can quickly change, and then you can say once you will change here the input form, you will see that now we are not getting error. Now we are also getting this is local date. Now let's quickly say even if you want to see output like January 21 and then you wanted to see, so how we can say even after that we can also format this as a string, and you can say format, and then here you can say yy dd and and then you can close the curly brace here. So now if you see how we are getting that output, so let's quickly try to put this as a JSON so that we can see what the actual output we are getting here is. So you can see that we are getting sorry, we did not provided the full year. You can see this is how now we are getting this. And what is the type, data type? If you wanted to see, it should be a string. Why it is a string? Because at the end we formatted as a string. Now if you wanted to say let's say that I wanted to see date and then and at the end I wanted to see the output of my year, what year it is. You can say here, you can see it this is like this. And if you try to make the changes like 3 times d or 2 times d, so we can make the changes accordingly. So if you try to put like make any changes which doesn't match with this input format, you will get some error. So this is how you can format your date, and you can also use your map function. There is one other way that you can use your map function. So how you can use that map function is, so now you can see that you're getting the output like this. And if you try to change the output format or DW or Java, you can see the output in a different way. So this is the first way of using map. You can also use second. So let's quickly use the second one, how we can do that, and then first we will remove the first one. So we wanted to map payload. How we can map this is, this is also a let's quickly remove this. So this is how you can quickly create a map, and you can see that you are able to see two array. That means in the input we have two records, array of a record which have two. Now if you wanted to see what index is, so if you use double dollar two, like dollar two times, you will get the index of your record. And then if you wanted to see let's say that you wanted to see role, what you need to do is dollar dot, and if whatever you wanted to use. So I did not put a here, so you can see that you have a role here. So this is the second way that you can use a map function. That is a very easy way that you can use, because this is what you you are going to use in if the project whenever you are mapping some input to the output or source to destination. And again, if you wanted to get some close date, you can get that as well. with the help of dollar sign, and you will see that autocomplete will always be there to help you, and you can get this output. So again, if you try to change this, you will see that this is a string, and then if you wanted to make sure, if you wanted to format, you can format that as a with the help of as operator, and you can provide here. Now what we are getting some issues. So we said that we wanted to format as a date, but we did not provide a formatting, so we need to provide a formatting here as well. And then we need to provide whatever uh, we are getting as an input, same format we need to provide here. Then only we will get the correct result. We will not get any issues here. So this is how you can format. And next thing, that if you wanted to create some variables, so there are two type these are the local variables that you cannot use after here. Like if you wanted to use here, so you cannot use, because you will get some error here. These are called as the local variables. And another option that we have is we can create some global variables. So how we can create is, it is very simple. Let's say that I'm saying that num seeds, and we have 40 here. And if you wanted to put here, so you will see we are getting, okay. So what issue we have is, okay, so it is saying that we just need to provide what kind of data type that we need to provide is. So we're getting error. Why? What error we are getting? It is saying that expected a namespace. And why we are getting this is, so let's quickly cut this and then paste under this delimiter, and we will getting the success. Now we can use this num seed here. So if you wanted to use num seeds, so let's say that we are going to say seeds, and we wanted to use this particular variable here. So you can see now we are getting 40 here. So this is how you can quickly create a global variable. And then next thing that we have is to format a number or our string in the form of currency. How we can do that? So what we wanted to do is here, so let's quickly say here we have one attribute that is called salary, and we are going to say that dollar dot salary here. And we are just getting this. Now we wanted to format this. How we wanted to format, let's say as string, and we wanted to format so if you don't put any formatting here, you will say that it will automatically format it for you. And if you wanted to do some formatting, so let's say that if you wanted to do formatting like this, you will get at the end it will automatically append two decimals for you. And if you wanted to put some for custom formatting like this, you can see that it will automatically put a comma after two digits. So you can see, so whatever formatting you wanted to format here, and then you wanted to get some output like that, you will see a preview of for that here. Now you can see that if you have multiple, so let's quickly say, and this is one attribute, and you have multiple attributes and you wanted to format those, you have to write this thing again and again, right? How you can do that? So for that, you can put here, let's say that for example, instead of we don't have this. Okay, now we have 40 seats here. For this we can create some custom type. How we can create that custom type here is, let's quickly see here. To create a type here, put a type here, and give it a name like you wanted to give anything, and then what data type it is. It is string. And what is a formatting of this, so you can copy that format and put here. And you can create another type. You can say that date, you can say that date type, and you can copy this like this formatting. And because you must be knowing the input, what data input you are going to get here, and then you can provide that here. So now here what we can do is, you can type currency only. Sorry, I think there is a typo mistake. So you can type that here, and you will get whatever formatting that whatever you have defined here. And now this formatting you can use in your you can say for any number of attributes that you have in your JSON file, and the same you can do for your data as well. So this is how you can quickly create your uh, global variables, or you can define your own type in your data view. And these are very helpful whenever you are working in your real-time projects, and you have to deal with different formattings. So these are some very simple formattings that we learned here. And if you wanted to learn more about, you can Google it, DW core functions, and you will get to know more about all those functions that are available here. So even we have some like if currency is nothing, we have some default functions. We can provide that as well. So these are the functions that you can learn. And to concatenate, like if you wanted to concatenate here, so we have two dots, and then you can provide concatenate like developer, and then you can also create some functions as well. You can create your own functions that we will be learning in our next video. So this is it for this video. If you have any doubt, please feel free to put down into the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you.